What's going on, everybody? Another episode of the Talk About It podcast. I'm Lauren Fulmer.
I'm Victor Dantes.
And
I'm
today,
Tessa Jones.
Yes. And today we got Tessa Jones with us. Tessa, how are you?
I'm great. Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Coming.
Nice to
Absolutely.
meet you. So why don't you just tell us a little about Tessa Jones.
Okay. Tessa Jones.
Who is she?
Well, she is a former Fighting Scot, so I'm very happy to be in Monmouth right now. No, I grew up in Knoxville, Illinois, and went to school at Monmouth before getting my master's at Western Illinois. And then I moved to Iowa for a quick 2 weeks and did not like it, so returned to my stomping grounds, and now I'm the communications manager for Galesburg Tourism and Visitors Bureau. So anything that says Experience Galesburg on it, I'm the person behind it. So taking pictures, creating events, updating websites, sending out press releases, all that fun stuff. So I get to really be out in the community, and which helped me grow, which is really nice. I feel like I'm giving back to my community finally. So yeah, in the meantime, I'm just being me, working out, hanging with friends, being a normal 28-year-old.
Yeah.
As normal as could be, I guess.
Yeah. Right here in central Illinois.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah. So how did you get into this position with the Galesburg Tourism?
Are you working for the city? Is that how it works?
Okay, so we used to be an entity under the city, but we're actually not anymore. Brand new as of 2019, we became our own entity. So we are contracted by the city of Galesburg, but we get our funding from the state and some hotel motel taxes, and then grants that we apply for. So we're completely on our own. My boss started in September of 2020, and I started in November of 2020, which is a very unique time to be in tourism. In the middle of a pandemic. It's quite fun. But actually, funny enough, I got this job after I left my previous job in July. Had kind of just wanted something new, moved to Iowa, hated it, came back, and I decided to travel for 3-4 months. I left my cat with my parents and just kind of took off. And then my previous boss, in which I had quit my job, was like, hey, there's this position open. I think you'd be great for it. And she serves on the board, and I must have interviewed well, and I've been there since November of 2020. So.
Why did you move to Iowa, and why did you hate it?
So I moved to Iowa, if I'm being quite honest, because of a boy. Never make that mistake.
Oh, no.
But no, it was actually, I mean, I'm from Knoxville. It's a small town, but this was even smaller. And I thought I was in a prime location, being halfway between Iowa City and Des Moines. But I just really, it's actually, I felt like it was a sign when that derecho came through. That was when I moved to Iowa, and the derecho literally stomped everyone over. There was a tree that collapsed outside my apartment and everything. And I was like, you know what? This is it. This is a sign I'm getting out.
Here's your sign.
So I got out and moved back home for a little bit, and then quickly got on my own, and I've been independent ever since.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
For you. So what was this town? What was the name of it?
That is, I wish I could seriously remember. It's close to.
It's that small?
I'm serious.
It was that bad? She just blocked it out.
I know. I was for 2 weeks, and I can't even remember. And I changed my address even, and I honestly couldn't even tell you. It's close to a college over there that I'm honestly totally forgetting.
I love
I think it starts
this.
with a W.
Tessa, I love it. So you literally went and moved somewhere that you can't remember.
Yeah.
You had such a bad experience.
Yeah.
You came back after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And now cannot even remember the name of the town.
No, I remember what the apartment looked like.
Yeah.
And I rode my, it was, I
quick
rode
2 weeks.
If I rode my bike around the town, because I didn't have a job at the time, so I was like, I'm going to get acquainted with the town, right? It was right next door to Pella, because I'd always go to Pella, Iowa, because it's a very nice town. Beautiful tulips. Is actually a tourist destination itself. This is even before I got into tourism. But it's not too far from there. And if I rode my bike around the town, I'm not kidding, I could encircle the entire town in about 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I come from Knoxville, and I can't even do that in Knoxville. So
Yeah, it's going to take 7.
yeah. Come on.
It'd probably give you 15.
Right?
Yeah, maybe
Depends
15
on the hill.
minutes. Mm-hmm. Sure. So you graduated high school in Knoxville.
Yep.
What year?
2013.
Okay.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Yeah,
I
she
went
said
to.
she was fighting Scott.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
that's true.
We got
That's
to
true.
refresh
I'm in
Victor
my-
sometimes. He doesn't keep up.
Totally understand. Hey, I don't even remember what town I lived in. So
Right.
you're totally
Yeah.
fine.
So no, can't blame him.
I graduated in 2013, went to Monmouth College. I'm actually a legacy there. My dad graduated in 83. My brother graduated in 10, and my sister graduated in 12, and then I graduated at Monmouth in 18. So was trying to finish the legacy, enjoyed my time there. And yeah, so I was wearing literally a Monmouth cheerleading costume as a 2-year-old. So
Right.
there's picture evidence. So
Okay.
it just felt right. But yeah, it's always been home away from home. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I thought I would get my master's in communication. My sister was over working at Western, so I lived with her, had free rent, and got more communication skills that I may or may not always apply. But yeah, it was fun.
So what about, so you are somewhat responsible for getting people to Galesburg. Come
Yes.
check out Galesburg.
Yes.
So what would you say is some of our staples? Like what are some things that you absolutely love or you find cool or interesting that other people should come check
Most
out?
visited places in Galesburg.
Okay, so what's the most visited and what I find the most interesting and why you should come are actually two different. The most visited places you're going to be Discovery Depot, because it's a children's museum. It's nationally ranked, great place to visit. However, obviously, I'm that's kind of a different target audience. I don't have kids of my own. I'm not a youth, so I don't go there. But I think people should come to Galesburg because the amount of small businesses that we have that are locally owned businesses, boutique shops, just look at historic Seminary Street, which is a top tourist destination in itself. But I just think it's really unique. I mean, you can go from there's art galleries to a kitchen boutique to, Calico Cat, which is just kind of gift boutique. And then you have restaurants intermingled in that have been here forever, like the Landmark. People literally get on the train, eat at the Landmark, and then hop back on Amtrak and go.
The packing house always gets brought
Yep,
up too.
right there.
I
Yep,
feel
because
people-
you can literally walk out of the train station and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been in other states and people, like you say, Galesburg, and they're like, is the packing house still
it's still there.
It's still there. It's
Do
still
they still
going.
have the cinnamon rolls?
They still do, yes. But
That's
yeah, that's
crazy.
a common question I get quite often.
What's the
Yep.
type of volume of people that reach out to you or that comes and visit daily or monthly?
So we get a lot of our, how do I want to say, our inquiries through social media or our website. Our Welcome Center is located, which is where our offices are, was redone about 2 years ago now. And we're located right off the interstate. And we do get some visitors off of that. But the majority of our visitors are coming on Amtrak. We're an Amtrak community and we're proud of that. It's a great staple for our town as well as the towns around us. But I would say, on a good week, it really depends. Right now, we're technically in our slower, what we call shoulder season. So we're kind of in between where once summer picks up, it doesn't end until December. So we get basically a 2-month, okay, let's regroup for the next year. So we're currently in that phase right now.
Okay.
But it really just kind of depends. Stearman Fly-In, when we host that in September, we're talking thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
So Railroad Days used to be huge. That has kind of petered out over time, but we have new businesses in town. Actually, shout out to Reserve Artisan Ales. I don't know if you guys have been, but they just celebrated their 1 year and they're already our 4th top visited in Galesburg.
Yeah. No,
And
beautiful
they
venue.
are a tourist attraction. Yeah.
I didn't realize that, but it's a beautiful venue. They've done a really good job putting that together. That little bus or whatever the heck that,
the trolley.
that's cool.
Yeah, and then they have the trolley and then the bus, which was it was a Peoria charter bus that they redid where you poured the taps out.
Right. Yeah. No,
it was
really
cool.
good concept. They put some thought into that. It turned out really well.
Absolutely, and that's what I find is special about Galesburg and why people should come to Galesburg, because a lot of people have kind of taken old and redone it. I just met with a lady 2 weeks ago that literally moved down from Wisconsin 4 months ago because of the architecture of Galesburg. Galesburg is very unique for that. Our historic districts, we're very much, it stinks being in Illinois right now because the weather is kind of, not the best. Actually right now, I can walk outside without a coat on, so that's nice. But, Lake Story is one of our is the top visited. We've had bloggers and influencers go out there, take photos. It was named one of the best lakes in Illinois. Unfortunately, in the winter, it doesn't really get the attention that it usually does for weather purposes. But yeah. So
have you seen that guy that goes around through deserted malls?
Yes,
and
I
he
have.
came to Galesburg.
Yes.
Did you see that video?
Really?
Did you watch it?
I have not seen that one. I've seen the pictures of the old, actually by, what was it, Kmart?
Oh, it
Where
used
you
to be
walk into
poppin'.
Kmart and yeah.
I tell my kids all
It's a
the time.
flashback when you look at it.
Well, look, before we didn't have cell phones, you know, like growing up, like you went to the mall.
Yeah.
Like you would go to the mall and that's where you run into your friends, or, you know, there was a McDonald's in there, the big food court. I mean, it used to be jamming.
Do you remember
in the mid-90s.
the large, because it's Galesburg, so there was a model train in the middle
Huge.
that you could.
It's
yeah,
like from
cool.
that wall to this wall,
Yeah.
a huge model train, and people would come check it out.
Yeah.
And
That's crazy.
as a kid, it was
is,
incredibly
yeah.
cool.
They are. Rumor has it that they are going to be reutilizing that space.
I've heard a couple
So-
different things. I don't know if any of
Yep.
them are true. But I mean, just the fact that U-Haul's gone in there and made some storage
Yeah.
units and different
And
things, that's good.
When I took my 4 months off, I used that. Great space, great people. Highly recommend.
Yeah. No, it's just good to put anything to use. I mean, anything that's just vacant. I'm about to sneeze. All right, it went away.
Look at the light.
It's still here.
I like that.
It went away. It'll come. But yeah, anyways, it's anything that we can do to like turn something back into being active or producing or generating, even just for your own visual, and not an eyesore.
The biggest example that I can think of right now is the Galesburg Community Arts Center was Galesburg Civic Art Center, and they went from a one-story building on our main street to taking over the corner of Main and Seminary Street, which is a very popular district, and went to 3 stories plus a basement. And they're going to have catering kitchens and classrooms and galleries. And it's Jazz
awesome.
Night is hosted there. Rutabaga Jazz Festival, which brings in thousands of people, is going to be hosted there. And so they took an old building and are literally repurposing it. It's a lot of work, but it's great that in such a downtown space that we're taking up those empty buildings and like revitalizing our downtown. Downtowns that's what people go to visit for.
For sure.
So
For sure.
I was on the board of the art center for a while, and this was not too long ago, but 5 years ago, and that's what we were like. That was the main thing that would get brought up all the time. Is like, where can we get a location? We need to get a new location. So I'm glad to hear that worked out for them.
yeah, it's been really great. A lot of it is from our local people, our local, honestly, building owners that are like, hey,
Donors
we
and-
have this space. Would you utilize it? We can make it work. And then people backing them with sponsorships or grants of different kinds and volunteering a lot too. So.
Do you know where people come from the most to visit
Yeah,
Galesburg?
actually, I can say according to our 2021 report, because we actually just collaborated with Datafy, and they are a research company. That oddly enough is kind of like Big Brother watching, but we already knew that, right? Just so we can get that out of the way. But anytime that you open your phone, we're tracking you essentially.
Yeah.
And so that's how we know where you came from, maybe how much you spent, where you went within Galesburg. And obviously our most visited is from Illinois, Chicagoland, all the way down south. And then Iowa is actually pretty far behind, but shockingly we get a lot of people from Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan is one of our top states. We're trying to work on our Iowa market, but Iowa seems to think that they're just a little too far away. But we
Maybe
beg to
they're
differ.
just still, their feelings are hurt from you leaving. Them
Yeah,
after, after
must
2
be.
weeks.
Must be. At least I go and get my gas there. I mean, how can they say no?
Yeah. Yeah, you would be surprised how many people from Chicago comes to Monmouth and Galesburg to stay at the Airbnb.
Again, the
Yes.
convenience of Amtrak. I mean, you can drive down one day and go back the next day. You can go in one day. I mean, we would love for you to stay the night. But yeah, we've had a lot of an increase in Airbnbs in Galesburg. And I know I just talked with a couple people in Monmouth last weekend that were staying at one with a hot tub. So they were really happy. So, yeah.
So did you ever get to what are your staples in Galesburg? What do you like to do?
What do I like to do? Okay, fair
Like,
enough.
you got some friends come to town and
Yep.
you're going to say, let's go do what?
It's usually get tacos and a drink at La Cantinita.
Okay.
Which
That's
I saw
a good
that you
one.
had
Yeah, we had Justin last
yep,
week.
Yep. So
Or
his
2
wife
weeks.
LV. Yep.
Yep.
Usually it's there, especially in the summer, and you go to their outdoor patio space.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
so nice.
very nice.
It's awesome.
We usually hit up Reserve and kind of check that out, and then see our main man, the owner and bartender at Bar 65, Sam Burdick.
Okay, yeah.
It's a lot has to do with the people, not so much that we go to each place to like drink per se.
Sure.
But that's what you usually do. And then I have pretty active friends, so we've gone to Lake Story to walk the trails a lot. We can do in the summer, rent a boat or a kayak and go out there, or there's usually a lot of events that are happening. I'm an event gal. So when there's an event going on, more than likely I'm going to be there. So, and then if I'm not, honestly, what I enjoy doing is volunteering. Like I said, I feel like I'm giving back to my town. And that's a huge reason why I'm in the job that I am. And I'm really passionate and enjoy what I do, because I feel like I'm making a difference, or at least, leaving an impact on something that left an impact on me. So
What are your duties at your work? What do you need to do? Do you take people on tours in Galesburg? Or?
So I do not,
Okay.
even though if asked to, I think my boss would be like, hey, can you, and I'd be like,
Right.
sure, why not? So basically anything. So there's just the two of us. That's my boss and myself. And as the communications, I also do the marketing, the advertising, the PR, the community relations, put together media kits, do the social media, update the website. I've hosted and planned and coordinated events, small and large, a little bit of everything, which is nice. It can be daunting, but it keeps it interesting.
Okay.
For sure. And then it's also preparing you, for really whatever. The more you're handling, the more experience you're getting.
So special shout out to my boss, because honestly, anything he touches, I touch, because he's been in tourism for 20 plus years. And I'm actually he's not just my boss, he's my mentor. I'm learning from him. Just yesterday, he was telling me, this is, we budget together. We also coordinate all the advertising, and we're talking national campaigns, where we're going to place the advertisements, and then how to do state reports, because state reports are done on a monthly schedule. So these are all things that have to get done. And he's just like, hey, I think one day you're going to have this opportunity, whether it's here or somewhere. And so you're going to learn how to do it. So I really appreciate that too. But like I said, I touch everything. I do anything.
Yeah.
Just not tours.
You're talking about marketing campaigns. What type of campaigns do you do? And you guys target specific locations? Do we have a branding video for Galesburg? Do we have something like this? Or
So there was a new video produced by the city of Galesburg, which Experience Galesburg was a part of, that they did kind of little branding. I think that was the last year.
It turned out really well.
It did.
I thought so.
It really did. And we're trying to, that hasn't really, how do I want to say it? We haven't really implemented that. It's great for the city, but it wasn't, ours. So it's not like it's showcasing all of our attractions per se. But we're actually just entered a really large campaign that we'll be doing. And it will be, it's a retarget. So it'll be the people that come and visit through March through June. And when they see our ads, it'll be on, social media, your phones, whatever. And if they, view it and see it or click on it, then we're going to retarget them 2 weeks later. A lot of it is doing the zip codes off of Discovery Depot, as I said, because they have, they're one of our top, our top attraction. And so we're working and starting there. But we have kind of, I think it's like 6 or 7 outlets that we're looking at. So like the history buffs, the food, the fun, the lodging, etc. So there's going to be like different categories to do that. So right now, I think our main targets really are Chicagoland. Like I said, it's easy for them to travel. So that's what we're looking at.
I was really waiting for you to bring up Coney Island. That to me,
Our oldest restaurant.
Yeah, that to me is one of our staples.
So Coney Island gets we've had a few influencers in there and bloggers, and it's been great. But I think it's also just like this kind of hidden gem. I don't know. I feel like it's like, And that's the thing with tourism is that you want to, at least for me, being on social media, like you see all these TikToks, it's like, here's the hidden gem. And then that place just blows up and it kind of loses its like specialness. Mm-hmm. And like, that's what I'm afraid. I'm like, no, don't take over. Like, I want to be able to sit at the bar at Coney Island whenever I want and get a hot dog. So.
But they've been there so long.
They have,
feel like
over 100 years. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they could handle that.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
and I mean, the best example is Baked. They were just named the #1 pizza company according to Yelp in Illinois, 40 nationally plus Canada.
Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah,
and great everything.
And it's just like that, you know, like they just this small little place that you can go have some really great pizza. And now every single day on Facebook, sorry, we're no longer taking reservations. Right. Sorry, we don't have carry out because they're so packed and busy, which is wonderful for business.
Good.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I called last week and got one just to go.
Yeah,
and they were like, "I'm sorry, but it's gonna be at least." And I expected it.
Yeah,
I already was like, I know it's probably gonna be at least an hour.
Yeah,
and you know, they've done a really good job too of sharing on their Facebook, like, "Hey guys, thank you for your patience. Like, we're getting smoked right now."
And we need to run that campaign also in Chicago.
Well,
say, hey, Galesburg has the #1 pizza place.
Don't think we haven't thought about it. We've talked about it, and there will be some strategic marketing and social media plans.
It was like #1 in Illinois and top 30 in the nation, I believe.
Yeah, 40. Yep.
Top 40.
That's
like,
good.
Holy cow. And it is so good.
Yeah,
so
it is good.
Because that brings people to Galesburg.
And it's all from Yelp.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that basically all from Yelp reviews?
Just reviews. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that's incredible.
And again, a perfect place to hop on the train and literally you can walk to it.
Right.
And if you're a Knox,
Seminary.
what's great is they work with the Knox students too, so you get a discount like Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's like a $10 pizza or something like that if you show your ID.
Yeah.
So they're also collaborative, which
I need to
really
get a
like.
Knox ID.
I know. I was just thinking. I did get mistaken for a student today while I was there. Should have capitalized on it.
Yeah. But no, they do. Seminary Street altogether has quite a bit to offer, and you talk about it's pretty well known.
Yep, absolutely. It's a historic district, so kind of not like a national landmark, but definitely a landmark. It's one of our visited attraction area, not a specific store, but an entire area. What a lot of people don't realize is that it goes all the way down. So the Knox Galesburg Symphony, they took over a building, as we were talking earlier, rehabbing an old building, and will be down there and have their own space. And then we have innkeepers, and then you go over Main Street, and now you're on the south side, and that's where everyone thinks like, oh, this is Seminary Street. Well, no, it extends that entire way to also include like the art center in the middle now. So it's growing even more, and there's opportunity to have it for people to come in and bring new businesses in.
So would you say the last years, the last couple of years, you think tourism is going up in Galesburg, number of people that visits, or and what do you expect for the next 5-10 years?
So it's well, okay, it's hard to talk about the last like even 3 years because 2020 is in there, and that just skewed everything because we were told not to travel. Yeah. So people didn't travel. However, I can confidently say that we are above the 2020 levels and we are above the 2021 levels, and we are on track to beat the 2019 levels this year, finally, which is really good. This past year for 2022, Galesburg accrued, I think it was like over $21 million in economic impact. Mm-hmm. So we are steadily even climbing even more. And there's an opportunity to set a new like TID, which is like the Tourism Impact District for like the hotels and motels. We just talked about that in the board meeting the other day. So even the state of Illinois is helping smaller towns like us and larger towns, really anyone in Illinois, to really grow. So, I mean, our industry was probably hurt the most, unfortunately, when 2020 hit. So, but we are steadily coming back out of that. So yeah, I mean, we are growing. What a lot of people don't realize is that like, we're talking about tourism, so all you have to do is come and visit and stay the night. We're not talking about people moving to our area. Sure. So they talk, we've lost so many, all these houses are for sale. Like, okay, yeah, but that's a bummer as a person that lives in Galesburg, 110%. But as a person that works in tourism, I'm like, I don't care. I just want you to stay in a hotel. Like, just stay the night.
Come check it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. And,
spend your money, buy something, eat something, and we'll call it good. Totally fine.
Well, and you might end up coming back.
Absolutely.
Again and again, and maybe eventually live. I mean, who knows? Mm-hmm. Everyone's different. I moved away from Galesburg and moved back with like 11 years in between there. And there's so many people that have never left, or or have this negative feeling about Galesburg, and it's like, dude, why would you move back here? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a small community. It's affordable. You can commute and get around very easily. I have a lot of good, longtime friends, and I don't know. It's a good community. I truly believe anywhere you go, it's going to be what you make it anyways.
Absolutely.
You can go to Iowa and say it sucks. You can go to California and say it sucks. You live on a beach in Maui, and if you don't have the right attitude, you're going to say it sucks.
Right.
So, I feel like that's where, when your feet hit the ground, that you're the one who is going to determine if today sucks or this place sucks or whatever. But I truly feel Galesburg has so much to offer. Is it the best place on earth? No.
Right.
But it's definitely not the worst either.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who truly feel that, like, oh man, like when Maytag closed, you guys were probably a little too, or even before you lived here. Like when that happened, it was like everyone's attitude. Yep. Not everyone. A good chunk of the community's attitude really changed.
Absolutely. And still like is affected by that.
Yes. Yeah.
How long ago was that, the Maytag last?
Gosh, I'm on camera and I'm not going to say the right year,
I know,
but it had to be in the late.
But
it was like 90 in that like 90.
Because I was born in '94. I do remember it, but like because my grandpa also worked at Butler, and it was like Maytag, but they all just left.
It just started happening
within just a couple years.
And those are a lot of really good, like blue collar, but middle, like good paying jobs.
But help the economy a lot.
Right.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these people, they didn't necessarily have the skill set or education to just go jump into another job. So a lot of them, they took early pensions and early retirement, and it was very unfortunate all together. But I mean,
and something like that, it impacts the local economy because you don't have the thousands of people that were shopping normally as you did before.
The mall was there before.
Yeah.
Too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that type of stuff and it just cripples it all the way down.
Yeah, but I think, do you think Galesburg is growing again, like little by little businesses? Because I see like in the Walmart area. I mean, 7 years ago when I got here, none of those businesses were there across the street.
I know, but they're so commercialized. And maybe you can speak because this is more your field. No, it's okay. But like those are all like big corporate chains who are looking at pure numbers and saying, okay, 30,000 people every day drive through this traffic light. If we can get 200 of them to stop every day and shop right here, we're fine. So that's like where those big boxcar, if you will, type businesses, they're just running pure math and going, hey, pure intersection right here. We want our business here.
You're exactly
right.
But
it still helps, right? Or no?
I mean, it's providing jobs.
It is.
There's going to be pros and cons to it for sure.
Absolutely.
But every time one of these other businesses open, you're stealing business from someone else.
Right.
It's just simple.
But I mean, you talk about that's Seminary Square. From a tourism standpoint, so you bring in a Walmart, that's great for the locals, but like every place has a Walmart, right? So like tourism, that really, it's not impacting.
Right.
However, the small businesses, which shout out to the KCAP team, which is Knox County Area Partnership for Economic Development. My best friend works there.
Ken Springer.
Exactly. And Abby Colvin, she's my best friend, but she works there as Director of Marketing and Communications. And they've had so many entrepreneurs and small businesses open within the last like 1 or 2 years because they've had like woman owned and like minority owned grants for like these startups. And so we've had a bagel shop open, we've had a selfie museum open, we've had an ice cream shop open, and so many restaurants, and then food trucks now are coming in. So it's great to see that. And that's what I think is what sets it apart, because you're not going to necessarily have a tacos and Thai food truck or a Moroccan food truck, in Monmouth. Or, even in Peoria, like if you're a foodie, you'll travel for that. It's 45 minutes on the interstate. So that's what kind of sets it apart. And I think in that perspective, we're definitely growing. We're having those businesses. And I just think it's more people that are branching out and wanting to be like, I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to pursue this passion. I'm going to see what happens. And that is the one thing that Galesburg, I will never bash them for it, because Galesburg supports local like I've never seen.
They do.
And it's huge. And so when tourists come in, they notice that. And like, cause they'll say like, oh, everyone's like really nice. And they really like, you can see that all these collaborative efforts where, the art center is working with innkeepers and innkeepers is working with so-and-so.
Sure.
And it's true.
And so that's just stronger together.
Yeah, exactly. Know? And so I think it is growing. Yes. Again, coming out of the pandemic, it may be slower than like what we have wanted, but honestly, after that, like any growth is good growth because it affected a lot of people in a lot of areas and a lot of just fields that not everyone was able to recover. So the fact that we are is, I think, a testament itself.
I think COVID also encouraged a lot of people to make that jump.
Absolutely.
To start a taco and Thai truck
Absolutely.
or Thai taco, whatever those gals started. That excited for them. I saw that. Hopefully that does everything that they want it to be. But yeah, I think that kind of shifted a lot of people to like, you know, I don't know, life's short.
Why
Try
not?
it out.
Exactly.
You know, I think we've talked about this before. I can't remember which guest, but I mean, if you can go take the Maytag, if you can go do this job for 30 years and then it closes and you have this sense of failure at the end of it anyways, why not just make the jump? Point. If you can fail at something playing safe, you might as well go fail at something having fun or trying it out.
And especially in an era where so many people have side hustles, you know, like you find out your friend has one. Like I have a friend that's starting his own barbecue truck and a friend that's starting her own like organization type business, all this stuff. And it's like, okay. And if you know, it's a pro con in my view, because I've been in Knox County long enough, even Warren County, that I know a lot of people. And so some people be like, oh, you just can't go anywhere without being known. But at the same time, you open up a business and all these people know you. I mean, you have lines out the door and you're going to have that support. So, I mean, I feel like Galesburg is at a right size. Obviously we do want to grow, but like right now, like, I mean, we have enough to support, but we still have people that want to come in. And honestly, the target lately has been retired folk are coming because you said, and we hit a national list of being one of the most affordable places to live.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's a big accomplishment in itself. And then people my age are looking at that because, you know, we're coming with debt out of college and trying to find decent jobs. And maybe we commute to Peoria or Quad Cities, but living in Galesburg, it's much smaller. It's maybe even a little bit safer. And it's just kind of that quaint community that, you know, you enjoy living in.
Yes.
But
yeah, I agree with that. The cost, the low cost of living, that helps a lot, especially the young population.
Well, we had Dustin Cardenas on, and we were talking about real estate, and we had brought up like $40,000-$50,000 houses.
Yeah.
And someone commented, I think in California, like $50,000. Where are you guys living? Yeah, you're in the backwoods.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I think our average home in Galesburg is in the $75,000 range.
Well, I mean,
that's average.
Yeah, but. And like I personally, like I rent. A lot of my friends rent. One of my best friends just bought a home, and it's funny because I mean, my parents are like, oh, that's, you know, they were boomers, and you know, growing up there, that's just crazy how they. And I'm like, okay, what? And then my brother living in the Quad Cities, his rent compared to mine is, I couldn't ask for better rent. Right. You know what I mean? And I have an entire house, which a lot of people are like, wait, you rent an entire house for under $1,000? And I'm like, yeah. And it comes with a garage and a yard.
Right.
Like. It's really nice. And then they're like, okay, well, can you let me know when you move? And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be soon. So
yeah, Galesburg is a renter's town.
It is over 50%.
It is, yeah.
If the numbers I've seen are accurate, but over 50% of the population.
A lot of it,
rents.
I mean, you're thinking, my mom works at Knox College, and so a lot of it is college students. I know a lot of the renters, the owners, the landlords are generally parents of Knox College students that come in, they'll buy it, they'll do it up. Their kid goes through 4 years and then they'll either keep it or they'll sell it once their kid's done. And then, I mean, there's a lot of local realtors that are in on the market too. I mean, I know a few, and it's nice knowing, knowing and having that, but also I feel like there's not enough because there's people always trying to look, and it's like, hey, if you hear, let me know.
Yeah,
I think there's way too many realtors in Galesburg.
Man, no? Shut up. There is too many, probably. I mean, I don't know, but there's enough out there for everybody.
Maybe there's just not enough houses for everyone.
Yeah. The reality is there's not.
Right.
There's not. And I've said this for a long time. If I had 10 more rentals right now, I'd have them all full by next week.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
With good people.
Hot market.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had one for every time someone reached out. I really do.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like I said, a lady from Wisconsin moved down because of the architecture, and so she bought one of the historic homes because that was what she really wanted. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know how you found it, but must must have been great.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, I looked on your website, and I'm like, cool. Doing something.
Right.
That's nice. Yeah.
So where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself sticking around the area for a long time? I mean, you have family. I'm assuming family still in Knoxville.
Yep. My parents are still in Knoxville. I'm like third generation. My grandparents, before they passed, they were in Knoxville. Both built their own homes there. My parents built their home there. Their plan is to retire there. My sister lives in Indiana, and honestly, it's a 4.5-hour drive, so really not bad. My brother lives in Quad City, so it's an hour drive. I like being with my family. I love my family. My family gets along, and we're really tight knit, so it's nice.
Good.
But don't get me wrong in thinking, I mean, my sister had moved to Georgia. Now she's in Indiana. My brother had moved to New Jersey and then Buffalo, and now he's in Quad Cities. And I'm like, well, I went to Iowa for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you got Iowa.
Don't even know where.
I went to Iowa for 2 weeks. But is it my time to kind of branch out? But I'll be honest, like, I truly love what I do, and I truly enjoy living in Galesburg and the friends and the people that I've connected with. So it's hard telling. I never thought that I'd work in tourism. It was important to me to work in communications because I paid a lot of money to get a degree in communications, and I'm doing that. And so now I don't see myself getting out of tourism. I don't want to. But we'll see where that builds. We're currently trying to work, and I mean, tourism can definitely grow within Galesburg and collaborations. We have a tourism bureau. Monmouth does not. Bishop Hill, they did have one part of, what is that, Fulton, Henry County. It dissolved. So, could we make more of a centralized tourism destination?
True.
We could. So it's endless possibilities. But again, we're only almost going on like 3 years old, going on 4.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying.
Kind of just thinking outside the box. Some of those will stick, some of them won't.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like you say, like, what do you want to do in 5 years? Well, who would have thought that in 4 years? But I've only been in the position for 2.5, like that. All this would have happened, not me.
So how do you think this job has or will help you? I'm sitting here thinking it's got to help you on your own travel.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So if you're going somewhere, you probably have a couple ideas on even resources to look and find out.
Absolutely. From working and finding, and also like being in tourism in any profession, it's all about who you know too. Like I've gotten some really good Airbnb and hotel deals or comp deals when traveling. We get just in our tourism travels for our meetings and conventions, like the stuff that we get to do is because, they want to show out because they're trying to bring people like you into the community. So when we went to Champaign, we had the entire University of Illinois field and like penthouse box to ourselves. And, like all these opportunities, I'm like, okay, where am I? What am I doing? I have imposter syndrome. I shouldn't be doing this. Right. But, it's definitely helped. Fortunately, I work for a really great boss that, part of tourism is you got to travel and you got to pick up notes on your own. So I mean, I've already taken 3 vacations this year and I got my 4th one booked for
3 vacations this year.
Yeah.
And we in February?
In 1 month?
Yeah. Hawaii, San Diego. I got Florida.
I love San Diego. I really love San Diego.
San Diego was a quick trip. It was about 48 hours, but hey, you need sunshine when you live in Illinois in January and February.
For sure.
So no, it's been fun.
And then you said you went to Hawaii?
Yep.
And you had to stay more than 2 days in Hawaii.
Yeah, I stayed for a week in Hawaii.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that flight. Have you been to Hawaii? What is Brazil on the same time zone? Where are you guys at on the clock?
What
do you know? What time?
How many hours?
Compared to here, it's 3 hours.
3 hour difference. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's not bad.
3 hours ahead.
How long of a flight?
Depends where in Brazil.
Okay.
Because Brazil is huge. From north of Brazil,
True.
I would say like 7 hours, but from my state, I would say 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
13.
Oh, it's that big?
Wow.
Oh, Brazil is huge. It's the 4th biggest country in the world.
When I went to Hawaii, the hardest part for me is I would wake up at like 2 a.m. Like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Like it has such a crazy time change.
I was falling asleep at 8 and I'd wake up at 4.
That's the jet lag, man.
Well, no, it's a whole different time zone.
Yeah. But I'd wake up at 4 and be like, okay, do I just walk down to the beach at this time?
Right?
Like, what is this?
Right.
I couldn't sleep in for anything. And then
I would
I'm
eat
like,
breakfast and take a nap.
Exactly.
Because I've already been up for 5 hours.
Exactly. Just trying to get through the day.
Yeah.
No, it was a struggle to do that and then come back and like get into work, and then you're going to San Diego and it's been in a different time zone every other week, it seems like. But no, I honestly, what helped, my sister's like, hey, just, it's a long flight to Hawaii. And I was like, yeah, well, I flew to Australia a few years ago and nothing will compare to how long that flight was.
Yeah.
I think that was 18 hours. And so I'm like, if you can do that, you can do anything.
So you have traveled quite a bit.
Yeah. I like to think so.
Well, yeah, you have. I mean, you just rattled off 4 different places.
Yeah. Opportunity. I don't know. If opportunity presents itself, like I'm gonna make it work. I'm 28. I'm healthy. I
like it.
I've paid off my debts, so I can't take the money when I go. So
good vibe.
Traveling is one of the most important things to do, man.
Absolutely.
You grow so much as a person,
Yes.
and who would have thought when I went to Hawaii and like going to Pearl Harbor, I'm not a history buff like at all, and I was just like enthralled with it. And then so I try to think, okay, how does this apply to Galesburg? Because there's so much history. And people come in and like, I want to go to the Carl Sandburg home, and I'm just like, okay, go to 3rd Street. Then I'm like, no, actually, because they're interested in him and they're going to learn about the history just like I did somewhere else. Right. But we take advantage because we're from here.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, what's
My family
the
moved in like 1992. That was one of the first things we did. Is went to this Carl Sandburg. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And I'm a kid. I'm like, okay.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, people.
Well, I mean, growing up, we had penny wars for like the Carl Sandburg like festival or Heritage Day. It was a fundraiser for the Historical Society for Carl Sandburg, and I'm just like, you it was just a part of the culture in our area. And so now I'm like, wait, they're not from here. You gotta show them a good time. So.
Well, I definitely got a kick out of it when we first sat down and started. When you said you moved to Iowa for 2 weeks,
I will think of that town. I will think of it.
But I'm saying right then, though, I knew you were at least like your vibe was like spontaneous. You're down to like, let's check it out, let's go.
I try to be. I feel like it's what keeps it interesting. It's what keeps it fun. But I used to be more spontaneous, but then like as you get older, you're like, I should probably not think of myself. Only, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, everyone warned me, that's exactly how I was growing up. I mean, I moved to Arizona and didn't really know anybody and what was going on. I just loaded the car and went, and the great experience and all that. But as you get older, everyone always warned me about 40. Like when you hit 40, things really start to change. And I'm 41, and they are dead honest. It's true.
Boy.
Where are the main changes?
years.
Mostly like, I mean, man, your dance moves start to go away. I mean, like everything.
You can't stay. I'm already at that point. I can't stay out later like I used to, because I wake up and like no drinking involved, and I'll just be like, man, I am wiped.
Yeah. You can't risk injury anymore.
No,
like that's one thing
so
for
true.
me. Like
no donkey basketball. That's for sure.
Yeah, no donkey basketball. I'm done. Those days are behind me.
Retired.
Yeah, but no, that stuff. You look and you're like, man, if it goes wrong, I'm out of commission for like 3 weeks.
So
I can't afford that.
That's so
Nor
true.
do I want the discomfort and pain.
That's why I've thought about skiing and snowboarding, and that's one thing that I haven't done. But I have family in Vermont that loves doing that, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll fly out there and I'll do it for a weekend. I'm like, but if I get hurt, like I still need to go to work. Like I still need to do my day to day.
I went skiing last weekend. I have an 11-year-old daughter who absolutely loves to go, and I've only been twice in my life. So I'm very like conscious of like, I'm not, you see those steep hills over there? I'm not doing those. I'm not ready for that, So I stay right here in my safe zone. And I had some friends, and a buddy of mine brought his kid, and like they were like had jokes about like, I can't believe you're just staying, like come down. I'm like, I will go when I am ready. Like I am serious. I will go when I'm ready. I'm not, peer pressure doesn't work on me anymore.
I'm
like
41. We are over peer pressure.
Yeah. But anyways, I just got a kick out of that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see when you guys get 40 if you can call me and say if I was right or wrong.
How many years you got?
I am 27.
Okay, so we got about all right. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
So we'll touch base.
We still got a ways, but we'll let you know.
Yeah.
But ski is something I will not try anymore. I tried one time. It's just too hard.
Like I said, so the first time I went was a complete disaster. I mean, I was falling all over the place. It's hard as heck to get up. And so the second time, where I just went last weekend, I mean, I literally told myself the whole way going there, I am not doing anything until I feel I get the back and forth and I'm feeling comfortable. I know how to stop. Because there's the deal, too. There's kids, there's people everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're going down these hills, and then all of a sudden I don't know how to stop because I haven't gone through any of this the training or whatever, right? So I just literally just flopped to the side and come flying. Like, I don't, but if I don't, you're going to hit this 7-year-old and completely ruin them or break your own body.
The thing is, they're probably better at skiing than you
are. They are way better.
so they're just kind of screwed
on the ski lift. That's the frustrating. I'll be watching them. Man. I'm like, these little 7-year-olds.
Look out for that 41-year-old.
You can't stop? Like, how do you break?
Right? Well,
no, you just need to. That pizza is a piece of crap. That is not true. Like, that's only. it doesn't work for me. Oh. But I do. I got to, like, you can, like, lift the edge of the ski and then you turn and like.
Okay.
I can do that.
Spray.
I got it. Yeah, I got that all
So it
down.
looks cool, at least when he stops, even though he really
on the
doesn't.
bunny hill. I was like the sickest person on the bunny hill for sure. I knew everyone was jealous.
Oh, I can't wait till I'm 41.
No, but we had fun. That's all that matters, and nobody got hurt.
That's good.
That's a plus.
Oh yeah.
Well, Tessa, I appreciate you coming and kicking it with us for a little bit.
Thank you very
Galesburg.
Much. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun talking.
Sharing your little story.
Talking about it, absolutely. And I will.
We're going to give you one last chance. What was that town in Iowa?
I can picture it. I can picture the town. And I can see the map. And I know the towns that I went through to get there. But I am telling you.
I bet as soon as we hit stop, you're going to remember it.
I think it either starts with like an. Does it start with an N?
This is amazing.
I'm gonna have to Google it.
I love this. Well, Tessa,
who cares?
It really doesn't matter. Just put it behind you. You don't need to remember.
It's way far behind.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Forget about Galesburg.
Thank you. Yeah, no, never. Always.
We got Victor Dantas. I'm Lauren Fulmer, and Tessa Jones today is our guest. Appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you do hit subscribe. That really helps out the podcast, and we greatly appreciate your support on top of that.
See you guys next week. Thanks, Tessa.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Tessa.
Absolutely.
All right, peace, guys. Thank you for watching this episode of the Talk About It podcast.
I'm Victor Dantas.
I'm Lauren Fulmer.
And we would encourage you guys to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the bell. It's going to be right below the video. So
hit the bell.
So you know when the next episode is up.
We appreciate all the support.
Thank you.